Once upon a time, there lived a family with 3 children, Wendy, Joanna, and Michelle. One night, their parents went out for the evening. The children were decided to sleep in the playroom, for tears until Wendy said,
"Time for bed." "Aw, but I'm not tired at all." "I know, but we promised Mother and Father we go to bed on time."
"Oh, Wendy, you're not tired."
"Well, I'm the oldest. I say it's time for bed."
They saluted their sister and said,
"Aye, aye, Captain."
And they all snuggled into sleep on the playroom floor. They said goodnight to each other,
Good night.
and in no time at all, the children were fast asleep. While the children were dreaming away, something magical happened. A sprightly boy flew through the playroom window in search of a chateau. He grew very frustrated and sad and began to cry. Just then, Wendy awoke and said,
"Why are you crying?"
"Because I can't get my shadow to stick on."
Wendy felt sorry for the boy, so she said,
"Would you like me to sew back on for you?"
"Yes, please."
so Wendy took a needle and thread and began to sew Peter's shutter back on. While she was sewing, Peter asked,
"What is your name?"
"My name is Wendy. What's yours?"
"Peter Pan."
Then Wendy asked him where he lived.
"Where do you live?"
"Second side to the right and straight on till morning."
Wendy thought this was a funny address and began to giggle. As soon as she finished sewing the shutter back on, Peter was so happy he began to crow like a rooster. Then Peter asked Wendy if she wanted to fly to Neverland.
"You want to fly to Neverland with me?"
"I don't know how to fly."
"Tinkerbell might teach you."
"Who is Tinkerbell?"
"My fairy."
"You know fairies?"
And just then Tinkerbell appeared.
"Here I am."
Wendy was amazed. She never met a real fairy before. But Tinkerbell was in a hurry and said,
"Come on, Peter, we have to go."
Peter really wanted Wendy to go with them, so he pleaded one more time.
"Please come with us to Neverland."
But Wendy couldn't leave her sisters, so she said,
"What about my sisters?"
"Stick with them too."
so they woke up Joanna and Michelle for the adventure. And Michelle said,
"Aw, but I just fell asleep."
and Joanna said,
"Did someone say adventure? I'm awake."
Peter explained how they would fly to Neverland. All they had to do was think happy thoughts or take a bus sprinkled fairy dust on them.
I'm thinking of flowers.
I'm thinking of books.
I'm thinking of candy.
And just like magic, they began to fly.
Flying, flying through the sky at night, around the moon and back again when stars are shining bright. Flying, flying through the sky at night, straight on till morning, second star to the right.
And just like that, they flew off to Neverland.
Wait for me.
Neverland is a rather curious place because the children who live there never grow up.
I won't grow up.
I won't grow up.
I won't grow up. I won't grow up.
The Lost Kids were a wild bunch. After all, they didn't have grown-ups to care for them.
We don't brush our teeth.
We don't go to school.
We don't go to bed.
Well, sometimes they went to bed, but never at a decent hour. On this morning, they were waiting for Peter Pan to return.
Where is Peter Pan?
He said he'd be back by morning.
Well, it's morning and he's not here.
And just then, they heard the sound of pirates approaching! Hide! As the Lost Kids went to hiding, some bumbling pirates arrived. They were singing a silly sea shanty. 5, 6, 7, 8.
What shall we do with the Jolly Roger? What shall we do with the Jolly Roger? What shall we do with the Jolly Roger? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, early in the morning.
The pirates began searching for Peter Pan. The first mate's name was Smee. He said,
I hope we find out Peter Pan.
Me too. Me 3. Smee ordered the other pirates around. He said to Stocky,
You go that way.
he said to Noodles.
You go that way.
Then he asked Stocky,
What do you see, Starkey?
I see the sea. And he asked Noodles,
What do you see, Noodles?
I see the captain,
Which captain?
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook?
and and the pirates fumbled around and lined up at attention, saluting Captain Hook. Captain Hook said,
You bumbleheads, where is Peter Pan?
Smee said,
I don't know, sir.
that made Captain Hook angry. He needed to find Peter Pan to get his revenge.
Peter Pan cut off my hand and fed it to a crocodile.
Ouch, that must have hurt.
Of course it did. I like your hook. It's shiny.
But the captain didn't want compliments. He wanted revenge.
Back to the ship. I need to make a plan.
That made the pirates happy. They were getting hungry and wanted a snack.
I want some popcorn.
I want pretzels. I want some pizza.
But Captain Hook said,
No snacks until you bring me Peter Pan.
so off they went. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's head back to the Jolly Roger. Let's head back to the Jolly Roger. Let's head back to the Jolly Roger early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Once the pirates are gone, the lost kids came out of hiding.
That was close. That was scary.
We've got to warn Peter.
Just then, Peter Pan appeared.
Peter Pan!
The lost kids warned Peter about the pirates.
Pirates are here.
Captain Hook is coming for you. You've got to hide.
Booey.
You see, Peter was too excited about bringing his new friends to Neverland to worry about Captain Hook. He introduced them,
Allow me to introduce Joanna, Michelle, and Wendy.
and Tinkerbell said,
Please make them feel welcome.
Wendy thought this was a strange greeting, but Joanna said,
I like it.
and Michelle said,
Me too.
then Peter introduced the lost kids.
These are my friends, the last kids. I'm Toodles. I'm Nibs.
I'm Slightly. I'm Curly.
Wendy thought this was strange names, but so she asked them,
Is that really what your parents named you?
I didn't know I never met my parents. Nibs is short for Nice Irish Baby Surprise, if you didn't know.
I'm Slightly. It says so on my tag. Slightly soiled. I'm Curly. I don't know why they call me Curly.
once the introductions were made, Toodles warned Peter again.
The pirates are really mad.
Joanna asked why.
Why is that?
Because Peter cut off their captain's hand. Totally normal.
Peter, that is awful. You should be ashamed of yourself.
It was only an accident. That's what happens when you play with swords.
If Wendy were in charge, no one would be playing with swords. She said,
You should be safe and make good choices.
the lost kids replied,
Safe? Make good choices? Why? Because I care about you.
they liked the sound of that.
That's so nice.
Nobody has ever cared about us before.
I think you should stay here forever.
Wendy was flattered, but she knew they must be going.
Our parents will start to worry.
Peter begged.
I want you to stay in Neverland forever.
That sounds fun.
Yes, I want to stay in travel forever.
No, we must go home soon.
Peter invited them to stay for breakfast.
At least have one proper meal with us.
I am getting hungry. Me too. Well, we wouldn't want to be rude.
So you'll stay?
Just for one meal. And then forever?
Wendy was flattered. Joanna was getting hungry and asked,
For breakfast. Maybe pancakes are the best for throwing.
Oh, or maybe pudding. It makes such a nice flat.
I thought we were having breakfast. What comes breakfast without a food fight? Food fight?
Of course, we always have a good food fight after every meal.
I love Neverland.
Come on, everyone, let's eat.
off the kids went to have pancakes or pudding or whatever they decided to have for breakfast. Meanwhile, Captain Hook sent his crew of pirates to capture Peter Pan.
I'm so hungry.
You are the captain. If we ever want to see you again, we've got to find out Peter Pan.
Even if we find him, how do we get back to the ship?
I don't know. We'll think of something.
This is crazy.
And it's delicious.
Just then they heard a voice.
What was that? Sounds like a kid.
Act natural.
Just then, Wendy came skipping along. She had taken a break from the food fight, which she thought was rather uncivilized. Wendy saw the pirates and asked,
Who are you?
I'm Smee.
I'm Starkey. I'm Noodles. I'm Wendy.
Wendy explained that her friend Peter Pan had brought her to Neverland for a visit. The pirates were surprised and said,
Peter Pan?
That gives me an idea. he whispered to the others.
Let's take her back to the ship, and then Peter Pan will come looking for her. And you know what that means. Captain Hook can get revenge. It won't get us snacks.
So they tricked Wendy and took her to the ship.
Wendy, would you like to come see our ship?
Ship?
Wendy didn't realize they were pirates, so she happily went along with them. Not long after, Tinkerbell came looking for Wendy.
Wendy, where are you? You're missing the food fight.
She noticed pirate footprints on the ground.
Oh no, the pirates must have taken Wendy. I've got to go tell Peter.
That was a good worried look she had.
By the time they arrived at the ship, Wendy knew something was wrong. Captain Hook looked at her and said,
Well, 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 what do we have here?
It's a girl.
I can see that, you bumblehead.
Her name's Wendy.
And?
And she's a friend of Peter Pan.
Peter Pan? Revenge will be mine!
but Wendy said,
Peter, come and rescue me.
and Captain Hook said,
Good, I want him to come here.
then Wendy said,
It's very rude of you to catch me like this.
and Captain Hook said,
Well, it was rude of him to cut off my hand.
That was an accident. Besides, you should have been playing with swords.
That's funny.
No, it's not.
You're right, it's not.
Just wait until I get my hook on that lad.
the pirates are still hungry. Stocky asked,
Captain, we have a snack now.
No, first you must swap it out. I want this boat to be in ship shape when I make Peter Pan rock the plank.
Aye, aye, Captain.
and the pirates sang a song as they swamped the decks. 5, 6, 7, 8.
What shall we do with the Jolly Roger? What shall we do with the Jolly Roger? What shall we do with the Jolly Roger? Early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Way, hey, and up she rises. Early in the morning.
Meanwhile, Peter and his friends snuck up to the ship. They had a plan to rescue Wendy. While the others stayed hidden, Peter jumped onto the ship and said,
Let her go, Hook.
Never! Not until I get my revenge.
Never.
so Captain Hook said,
Then draw your sword.
Not so fast, Hook. I brought my friends.
just then, all of Peter's friends jumped onto the ship and the battle began. When the battle was over and the pirates were gone, Tinkerbell said,
Peter, you did it. You saved Wendy.
That was amazing.
That was fantastic.
That was remarkable.
That was spectacular.
What an adventure.
No more Captain Hook.
they all cheered.
Hooray!
And then Wendy said,
Thank you for saving me, Peter.
That's what friends are for.
Peter and the Lost Kids really wanted their new friends to stay, but Neverland wasn't their home. Peter asked,
Will you come to visit?
and Wendy said,
Of course we will.
so before they flew home, they celebrated with one last song.
Sail